Now next, we have another question actually from further south, actually Fair Oaks. Lori, you're going to have to tell me where Fair Oaks is. It sounds beautiful. Lori, are you on the line? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am. It's up in Sacramento.
Fair Oaks? Sacramento, so it's that's wonderful. Thank you. What's your question?
My question, I have a question that, seeing that you guys are really looking at the profits of this for the state, I wonder if you consider putting it towards the rehab and the help for the families of children that have gone through drug abuse. Because I have recently dealt with in the last 3 years with my child and have successfully pulled him out, and he himself thinks it's a gateway drug and is against it. What are you guys going to do for that situation? I understand that you have these glorious ideas that it's going to, make California great, but there are a lot of families out there that are suffering from this. And what is the plan to help them? Because as you can tell in my voice, it's very emotional. I am very upset at this because I don't look at it as a profit or an easy way. I look at it as a nightmare. So I would like to know what you agree of that.
I agree with you, Lori. And
unless you've been through it,
I think we actually agree on most of this, Lori. In fact, it sounds like we agree on about 95% of it, and I think Judge Gray will as well. Right now, cannabis is more accessible than any other drug, even alcohol, and it's because it's in the hands of our criminals. And that is the gateway. They don't have to go talk an adult into buying them alcohol. They can walk right behind the convenience store and find somebody to sell them pot and whatever else they might be selling, and they're not getting ID'd. I also completely agree, as does the campaign, that these monies that the state collects needs to go towards these treatment programs. Many of these treatment programs are being filled up with folks that are really just given the choice between jail or treatment. They don't even feel they need treatment. And unfortunately, it's blocking out kids like yours that really need the help. We're working with Senator Calderon and Assemblyperson Amiano for companion language. And Senator Calderon is working very hard to put the monies that are collected from Prop 19 towards both law enforcement and these treatment programs, because it is important to address this without question. We need to control cannabis away from the children. I'd like to turn this over to Judge Gray, as he's had the most personal experience in seeing these kids come through his bench, because it's also about the criminalization of our children. Judge Gray?
And Lori, thank you for that question, because it really, really is an important one. And I agree with what Dale just said. And of course, this is so multifaceted. It will be under Prop 19 up to the cities to decide how they're going to spend whatever revenues they get. But also, of course, we're going to take a lot of incentive away from juvenile youth gangs to lure your child or others into what they're doing, and the rest of that. And fortunately, too, in Sacramento, like Dale just said, we have some legislation that's being added to take a lot of these monies into where it will really do some good, namely into drug treatment for people that really need it, and away from coerced drug treatment from a lot of people that just don't need it at all. I use alcohol pretty much every day. Now, if I use marijuana, people would label me as an addict. Well, I'm not an addict. I'm not a problem user. And a lot of people that come into the criminal justice system under Proposition 36 or otherwise don't need drug treatment either. Nevertheless, of course, if that's the choice between prosecution or treatment, that go into treatment, that's a waste of money. A lot of them don't need it. So let's put the money where it is needed, and it sounds like your child is exactly what it needs to be. And I think under Prop 19 that your child will have a great deal more chance of getting some treatment that he or she really needs.
With cannabis being the largest cash crop in California and most of the profits going to the illegal cartels, Lori, this is, not just about access, but also about priorities. Rather than chasing cannabis users, and trust me, we chase and arrest, incarcerate 61,000 per year. We have over 60,000 unsolved violent crimes every year as well. So it's an overall issue of community safety and focusing on crimes against others and violent crimes. And finally, taxing this crop that, before now, there were no monies going towards treatment or law enforcement. And we want to make sure that we don't cut any more cops from our street.